Collings joins us now live from Berlin with the latest.
Kim, thanks very much indeed. The polls closed here in Germany just over an hour ago. The exit polls have been emerging, and as you say, it looks at odds on, as predicted from a long way out, that Angela Merkel's party, the Christian Democrats, have got the largest percentage of the vote. Over 32% is what the polls are saying. But of course, the big story is twofold. First of all, the collapse of the Social Democrats led by Martin Schultz, getting a terrible result, the worst for decades, and the growth of the far-right party, the AfD, the Alternative for Deutschland, getting, we believe, over 13%. They were confident when we spoke to them earlier this week, but this is something of a sea change in German politics. Let's get the views of Sergei Lagodinsky, who's a political commentator based here. Sergei, thank you for talking to us. Can you just give us the significance of this? It isn't unexpected, but the collapse of Martin Schulz's party does seem to be quite severe.
It is severe, and it probably was one of the reasons why the party said that they will go into opposition, since the party base especially was already very tired of the grand coalition constellation. They had a feeling that this was the party who was basically losing a political weight to the benefit of Chancellor Merkel. And now with a result like this, which is one of the worst, it is the worst result of this party for a very long time, there is no other way for them than to first claim that they will go into opposition.
Has it been difficult for them trying to oppose some of Merkel's policies and ideas when they have been in coalition with her in the past? I think 8 of the last 12 years they've been there alongside her party.
Yeah, I mean, this is precisely the problem. A party in a coalition, it is very hard for a party like this in such a relationship to have its own profile. And especially in a grand coalition where actually, the two, as they call here, people's parties, the main parties, are, the people are used to them being in competition. And this competition was gone, and we had a huge majority in the parliament for the government. The opposition was very small, so the people had a feeling that the democracy is lacking in the Bundestag. And I think this is one of the reasons why many people and many voters who would have voted otherwise for Social Democrats said, no, this is enough for us. We want them to go into opposition.
We must talk about the growth of the AfD party. They've only been on the scene in the last 4 years, effectively, but to get, we expect, over 13% for them is quite an achievement. How significant is this in German politics?
This is not a significant event in German politics. This is a significant event in German history, especially post-war German history, because we will be having, for the first time in our post-war history, we will be having a party which is not only right-wing, but also questions the consensus of political culture in Germany. And this is what we will be experiencing for the next 4 years. If we have another round of the Grand Coalition, then the AfD, or Alternative for Germany, would be the third biggest and the biggest opposition party. So this is another reason why a Grand Coalition would be very precarious from a democratic point of view. If the SPD goes into opposition, then the SPD would have the leading role in the opposition. If the SPD goes into the government, then the leading opposition party is the right-wing party, Alternative for Germany. And this is what many people don't want.
And this will put a lot of pressure on Merkel's policies, the horse trading that has to go on with the leading opposition parties?
This will put a lot of pressure on Merkel, but much more pressure on Merkel has been put by her losses. Her party is now with around 32%. It's about 10% less than they had during the last elections, and it is much less, 4 to 5% less than people expected according to the polling results. So there is this unpleasant surprise for the Chancellor, and the Chancellor will have a lot of problems within her own party in order to position herself, and especially going into a coalition with liberals and the Greens, who are more kind of centrist and left-leaning on many issues like immigration. This will be a very tough maneuvering exercise for Merkel in order to survive in her own party or to secure a successor who would not be kind of a right-wing successor.
Okay, Sergei, thank you very much indeed for your views. It remains fascinating, of course. The results officially are not in. These are exit polls, but known to be accurate, certainly. But as Sergei was telling us, this is where the negotiations start, the horse trading begins, and that, of course, is going to affect policy heading into the future as attempts to form a government are made here in Berlin.
Francis Collings live from Berlin. Thank you.